It was a really disappointing performance from England last night, and Gareth will know that, the players will know that, but that is what they're going to come up against, certainly in the group stages. You look at the game against Bosnia, a team that sits in a low block, again last night in Iceland, and we got caught on the counter-attack, and that's what can happen. When I said yesterday, let's go all out of attack, you've got to be a little bit better in the final third, which I thought Anthony Gordon was good. You know, but he isn't going to get an awful lot of spacing behind in the tournament, in my opinion, but I thought he was good. Foden's going to improve from the game. You know, he got on the ball, he was giving it away at times. But look, let's not get carried away. That game was to prepare us for a week on Sunday against Serbia. The players will have had one eye on that and making sure they don't get injured. So, look, keep calm. I'm still very optimistic that come the Euros we can have a positive tournament.
Yeah, I think that's the theory today. Is I don't think anyone is getting too worried about it. I mean, I think Rob Dawson has told us the stat that England haven't lost the game before a tournament since 1968. But I think a lot of people are reading to the fact that nobody wanted to get injured in that sense. A lot of focus is on the defence, though, at the moment. And one person that did pick up a bit of a knock, of course, was John Stones. How much of a worry would that be?
Well, I was seriously concerned last night when John went down, and I was on the train on the way down to London, and I watched it and I put my hands on my head. I was thinking, surely not for him so early on in the game, but thankfully he managed to play the first 45 minutes, whether it was precautionary, time will tell. John Stones is so important for England. He's the best centre-back we've got. We need him to be fit. I spoke about how inexperienced the squad is. You need your big players, you need your experience, and that's what John's got. I mean, I'm a huge fan of him, and he has to be fit if we're going to have any chance. And I'm sure this morning he'll be trying to get prepared for a week on Sunday. It gives us just over 8 days, so I'm sure he'll be fine. Fingers crossed. Well, I'm certainly hoping, because he's such an important player for us.
Yeah, and yesterday, if anyone was watching us, you discussed your starting 11. You had Mark Gay in it. He's likely to get that first game against Serbia, you'd have to say. Did he impress you yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's going to improve from every game, of course he is, Mark Gay. He's still relatively new. I think that was his 11th cap for England last night. So that inexperience, the pressure of going into a big tournament, but it just shows in the last 2 games. He started both the games. Gareth showed the faith in him, so he will start, in my opinion. And I know I went very strong on Ezra. I think he'll have a big part to play. I liked him when he came on. He sort of stands full backs up and then goes past them when there's not an awful lot of spacing behind. But he doesn't need loads of space, because he's not got that lightning quick where he needs loads of green grass. He can just dictate and move really well. So, look, I did say all out attack. I mean, but you've also got to be careful on the defensive side that we don't get caught on the break, which we did last night.
Who impressed you? I mean, we were talking to Rob Dawson, and he was talking about, you know, Kane looks a little bit undercooked, Trippier building up to match fitness, so too, you know, Bellingham looked a little bit tired. Was there anyone that stood out for you and thought that he really impressed me?
Yeah, I mean, Cole Palmer, I'm a huge fan of, and he'll have been disappointed that he had a great chance of ball from Kane. He does brilliant, and then goes one-on-one with the keeper. He'll be probably disappointed he didn't take that, because we've seen how clinical he has been for Chelsea this season. So I was impressed with him. I like Cole. Whether he start, I'm still not sure. With obviously Saka, but you look at Saka now, not getting an awful lot of game time. But you would think in 8 days, I would certainly be looking at Saka starting. Whether he'll go forward and on the left. I know I said Eza yesterday. I mean, there was an awful lot of players. I thought he would have showed his hand probably a little bit low more. We all know Harry Kane's going to start in the attack. I thought Kobe Mainoo did really well. I like the position he picked up. When we talk about Declan Rice moving forward, played in probably a more advanced role last night than I expect him to see against Serbia. So time will tell. There's going to be loads of speculation around the team building up to the game next Sunday. But last night was a real disappointment. But I'm sure when you listen to Gareth, his post-match was very honest, which you always get. And they'll be working this week to prepare for Serbia. And it's gone, you move on, and we're all still very optimistic.
Yeah, OK. I'll take your optimism. What about Ivan Toney? Were you surprised to see him ahead of...
So you should be.
I will, I'll take it from you. Were you surprised to see him come on instead of Ollie Watkins in place of Kane?
Yeah, I was. Obviously, Ollie played against Bosnia, but I think he was right to take 3 strikers, because we can see an injury can happen at any moment in time, and they're both completely different players with Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins. He's a runner, he plays on the shoulders of defenders, he wants to get in behind, balls down the channels, he causes problems. Whereas Ivan's more a Harry Kane, he'll hold the ball up, he'll be a threat aerial. So, was a surprise. I mean, it's game time for Ivan and Ivan Toney in another cap, and you know, I'm sure he's going to be called up at different games. Different opponents have different challenges. So, I mean, if we're chasing a game and teams are sitting in deep, I mean, Ivan Toney comes on. You know, if an opposition is probably after scoring a goal against Daws, it then gets stretched, and you bring Ollie Watkins on because then there's going to be space in behind. So all these things will come into the equation when Gareth is making his substitutions.
How did you think Phil Foden's audition in the number 10 role went?
I was a little bit disappointed with Phil Foden's performance last night. You know, I think that's only because of the standards he's set. I mean, Phil Foden has set the bar as high as anyone this season, Premier League Player of the Year, and we expect him to go and do that for England. And we probably haven't seen the best of Phil Foden in an England shirt, in my opinion. But whenever I speak to you, I mean, I'm a huge fan of him. You know, I think he's one of the best out there, and he has to play in that attacking role and more essential. Do I think he will? I'm not too sure. Will Bellingham go in and play in the 10 and Foden on the left? I mean, we can all speculate and guess. Only Gareth knows.
Only Gareth knows. But I'm going to keep asking you, though, because I like what you say. Kobbie Mainoo, what about him? 90 minutes alongside Declan Rice in the midfield. Do you think he's done enough to warrant a place, or could we be seeing Conor Gallagher? Because I know a lot of people are keen on him as well, including myself. Yeah,
both different players. And I'm a big fan of Kobbie Mainoo. I thought he was really, really good last night. Very, very positive performance from him. Did himself no harm. But I see if it goes with Declan Rice and Gallagher, you know, Gallagher can get forward. Kobbie's probably more gives Declan Rice the reins to go. Bellingham in the 10 and Foden in the left, which we probably guess it's going to be. Whether I would go like that, we saw my team yesterday. But yeah, we all probably think it was going to be Conor Gallagher. But why didn't he start the game last night? I mean, he's still trying to find his best formula. That's a proof in the pudding, because if he was so cemented in Conor playing, you would have thought he would have played last night. Started against Bosnia. So as I say, it's a waiting game for us all.
Yeah, it is. What about squad numbers then? Do we read anything into them? Trent's been given number 8. What did you make of that?
Well, you'd normally think it was a number 2, but Kyle Walker's going to have that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the squad numbers, so I think that's a giveaway that Gareth sees Trent Alexander-Arnold as a midfield option as well. And I think when you see him come on last night, his first ball, he doesn't play it safe. The ball down into Ivan Toney, he nearly got him behind. Ivan Toney went down. It wasn't a penalty, but just that positivity and forward thinking from Trent Alexander-Arnold is unbelievable. Then his second pass was a long diagonal to the left. So he always tries to do something positive. And if he's got the number 8, I mean, I try not to read too much into this because you think if he's going to start in midfield, would he not have played last night? I mean, my mind's fried, Vic. I've just done 40 miles on a bike. Come on.
I'm going to let you go, but finally, you were really super confident England were going to go all the way and win. Do you still feel like that?
Of course I do. I have to. As I've said, the last 2 performances have been disappointing. But look, you're building up. You've got that pressure in and around. I've touched on it earlier, not to get injured. Come next Sunday against Serbia, I hope it's all put right, and we're all cheering on Monday morning and Sunday night.